everybody, it's Monday, so it's an alphabet challenge day. Today we've done the A's, we've done two A's, we've done two B's. So today, because I know my alphabet, today is C. So what is C for? Well, C is for coloured pencils. Now that's a broad category, and I'm sure that you can think of loads of things that you want to colour. I want to, I've got something I want to colour, but what I want to do first is show you how I make the background, and then I'll use that for the background of my tag that I'm using for the journal that I'm making. I see some of you are commenting that you don't know how I've made the background. I did show you, but you possibly missed that one. So this is it. This is what it looks like. I just think it's a super background. I love it. So today I'm going to have a go at recreating it. This is just on ordinary photocopier paper, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to take to the paper that I'm using today. You can see I dried that on the drying rack, so I've got some marks on it, but that's fine. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but let's have a go. Let's have a go and have a see what happens. So I've got some super smooth card here. It's only light. They say it's 220. That doesn't feel like 220 to me. It feels about 190, something like that. So the first thing to do is to put gesso on it. So I don't want an even coverage. Excuse me. So I'm just using this brush that's now dried with acrylic on it, with gesso on it. So it's it's a bit hard, but it'll do fine, because as I say, I'm not looking for even. I want it fairly uneven if I can get it. And I'm just using the little bit that's in the lid, because that's ample for what we need. So there we are. I've got some bits of uncovered paper, card, whatever it is, and some bits that are covered in the gesso, and that's fine. That's exactly what I was after. So that's us finished with the gesso. With the journal pages, I do front and back, but here obviously I just need to do the front. So that's more gesso on my already hardened brush. It's amazing, isn't it, how much stuff a brush holds. You think it's dry, and it's not. And it's altogether too far to go through to the kitchen to rinse it. So yeah, I'll leave it like that, and it'll just carry on getting harder and harder. Now this won't take long to dry, but it's not quite dry yet, so I'll come back when it's dry. Okay, that's dry, and it's really difficult to see. There's just if I hold it in the light, I can see that there's bits in places and not others. And then I'm using my acrylic ink. Now the reason I'm using acrylic ink is because I'm not sure, particularly in my journal, I'm not sure what's going to go on top of it. And if I use ordinary oxide or ink pad or spray stains or oxide sprays, if I add water or any water medium to the top of it, it'll move the base, and I don't want that to happen. So if I use acrylic ink, once it's dry, you could use acrylic paint as well. Once it's dry, you won't move it at all. So this is what I chose to use because I absolutely love the colour, and if you do, it's called 718 Warm Grey. It's I fell in love with this colour. It's just fabulous. And I'm just going to put, it's only a tag it's only a tag we're covering, girl. And just do the normal dibby-dabby stuff. Add a bit of water to it, not too much. Spread it out a bit. with my my poor bone folder gets used for everything because it's acrylic or silicone or something. It doesn't stick to it anyway. So then just let's dib and dab and see what we get. Ah, that's nice. So I'm just going to go in with some water and move that around so it's quite a watery background, that one. You can, if you want to, go in and dab, you can just see that there, dab it a little more and you'll get the texture of the whatever you're using to dab it with, which I quite like. I don't want that pooling around the sides or on the bottom, so I'm going to take those off, those pools off. And I think that's okay. Let's dry that, because very often these things dry lighter than they appear at the moment. So let's dry that off and then I'll come back to you and we'll see if we want to add any more or not. So that's it dried, and actually I think it's probably all right. I don't think I need any more on there. I like this darker bit, and I could add something there, but you can see where there is no gesso. And actually I've given this a fairly thorough coat. I didn't want to give it that much of a coat because I like these parts where there's no gesso and it shines through. I don't think I want to make it darker than that. I like it as it is. So let's just get one of my inky backgrounds out and add that to it. Have I got anything that I could add that to? Possibly this one. Great. Put that in there and it will dry in its own sweet time, and just wipe away whatever's left. There we go. Right. So C is for colouring pencils or coloured pencils or crayons or whatever you want to choose, but they all begin with C. Let's pull the sleeves up. So the next thing I want to do is give myself something to colour. So I'm going to use my stamping platform. I'm going to use a Tim Holtz stamp, so I don't need this piece of foam in there. I have bought some sticky grid from Sizzix, but I haven't opened it yet. And I know we're on a no buy thing, but sticky grid, really? It's not very exciting, is it? I think I'll be all right with that on the no buy thing. Stamps stuck to the front and back. So this is the Tim Holtz French Garden CMS 487. There's obviously another stamp goes in there. I really can't remember what it is. I hope I'll encounter it as I'm going through the drawers. I really like that one. I love that one. And I like that one. Which one would look best? Maybe that one. It's a bit fussier, isn't it? Let's do that then. So I'd like that fairly central, I suppose. Back there. Okay. I'm going to use my VersaFine Clair. I think it's a really nice background, this. You could do it in any colour that you like, any colour. You'd get the same similar results. I just like that for a journal background, and actually I'm probably going to like it for this tag background as well, or journaling card, or whatever it turns out to be. Try not to squash it too much. You kind of lose a bit of definition if you squash it too much. That's nice. I'll just give it one more going over. I'm not sure it needs it, but just in case I've missed any bits out. Yeah, that does look a bit blacker now. So that's that. Let's clean that stamp off a bit. The lovely stamp set, this French Garden. I absolutely love it. They are big and they are quite difficult to place. I guess if you're a card maker, they're probably a bit easier to place in your work. But us journalers, we like tags as well and journaling cards. So there we go. That's that. Let's take the magnets out, put my foam back in, and I use that if I'm using cling stamps. So that's that. A few of you have asked where I've got this from. I got it from a Spanish company, they're called Craftelier. I got it some time ago. I think they're now having problems importing into the UK because they're European. And of course we aren't. I was going to say we aren't European. We are European, but we're not part of Europe trading bloc anymore. So getting things in and out is a bit dicier than it used to be, I believe. I don't know firsthand. Right. Let's just make sure that's nice and dry before we come in with the coloured pencils. Now I'm not using aquarelle, watercolour pencils, anything like that. I'm using straight up just colouring pencils. So I'm not adding any more to this at the moment until I've got my colour down. So I'm just using a fairly limited palette of, I don't know how many there are, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 crayons. So, you know, if you haven't got a big set either, if you haven't got any, I am nick them off your grandkids, that's what I say. And I'm going to use this pink. It's quite a vintagey sort of pink. It's got a very fancy name, I seem to remember. Rose Anthraquidone. Rose Anthraquidone. Very nice, I must say. And oh, I'm not sure that's dry yet. Let's just block that off. Yeah, look, see, not quite dry. Well, it should be now, I've just blotted it off. So let's just, oh, it's not dry, can't do it yet. Can't do it yet. Let's give it a couple of minutes to come to its senses and I'll be back. Okay, so that's dry. It's got to be dry by now. So let's take this pink again and just start to colour. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to colour kind of over the black shading marks, and I'm going to leave where it's light, where there are no shading marks. And we'll see if we like it when it's done, and if we don't, we can colour it all. Still not sure that ink is completely dry, but I've got to move ahead. No, I've got ink on the end of my pencil. But this is a vintage look. It's a vintage rose with a vintage look, which is why I've selected this particular pink, because it is a vintagey colour. Come on, ink. Blooming dry. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Let's try and keep out of the ink then. Quite like that effect though. It does look very vintagey. So I'm just going to carry on colouring. I'll colour the flower, then I'll come back and we'll do the leaves. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, I realised once I'd smudged this that the ink actually was not dry. So I dried it with my heat tool and then went over it again, and you can see that is a lovely, I love the way that's worked. It's so vintage. I don't know what else you could get that exact look with. It's funny, isn't it? Every medium that we use has its own specific use, its own look, and I really like that. That's lovely. So let's move on to the leaves. Now I've only got 2 greens in this set, so let's just use the darker one. And I just want a hint of green on these, just like the petals, not really all the way, just so they look like leaves. It's working so much better now the ink's dry. Oh my goodness. So you just want to let people know these are leaves and they're green, but you don't need to do too much to them. The stamp is doing the work here. So you can take your time with whatever stamp you decide. It doesn't have to be a floral stamp. I just so love that French garden set that it looked like the perfect time to give it an airing. So there we are, I've got a bit of green going on. Let's do the stem as well. There we are. That's our coloured pencils, and what a job they've made. I love them. Love it. Really, really, I really do love it. So, what shall we do to the tag now? Because it looks really nice like that, but it also looks a little bit plain. And I also thought that C could be for circle. So I looked out these stamps, the Paper Artsy stamps, and I've got these circles on that look a bit like bubble wrap, and this circle, which is a broken, I don't want to stick to that either, a broken sort of circle edge. Now if I want to stamp that circle there, for example, which I quite like actually, I quite like the idea of it being there, but it's going to stamp over that. So what I've done is I've made myself a mask, which really is very easy if a little time consuming to do. I stamped this out on ordinary photocopier paper, because if you do it thick, if you do it with the thick paper, you'll get a gap in your stamp where it goes from one level to another. It doesn't stamp completely. So I've done it with very, very thin photocopier paper, and it should work. I mean, it might not work perfectly, but let's give it a go, shall we? So let's get catkin out. Is that going to stick on there? Maybe. Yeah, I think so. And I'm running scared now of that VersaFine Clair because it takes ages to dry. I don't know, should I use, what should I use? What should I use? I could could use stays on. That takes a long time to dry as well. I use a VersaFine clay and I'll use my heat tool. Oh, let's be brave. Let's be brave. Let's just ink this up. Just make sure that's stuck. I'm not exactly certain that it has, so I'm just going to use a bit of glue stick. Everything's working against me today. That should not move now, I wouldn't have thought. If it does, I give up. So, let's make sure that we've got our mask over where we want it. Oh, no, don't do that, Miss P. You just twisted it. I think that's okay there. And let's put that there. Let's just go for it. Yeah, that looks nice actually, doesn't it? Oh wow, that's changed the whole look of that. Oh, I love that. I think we need one down here to kind of echo that. This will happen. It will happen to your mask. You're stamping over it, so don't be too precious about your masks. But it did work quite well. Quite impressed. There we are, so let's ink this up. Let's get a bit of blue roll and put it on the desk because it's just, because I'm stamping off the image, it's going all over my desk. So I think I'm quite happy with where that mask is. You can get temporary sprays and stuff like that, but hey ho. Why would we choose the easy way? Right, okay, let's do this. A bit more of the circle showing. There we go. It's down, for good or ill. Oh, isn't that nice? That's nice. It's very, sort of, you know, in your face, but I quite like it, I must be honest. I don't know if I necessarily... Do I need any more? No, I think I'll put text there and text here. I really feel like I want a little bit up here. Just coming off the page a bit. Off the tag. So there we go. That's nice. I like that. Looks balanced. I think it looks balanced to me anyway. Right, let's wipe this off. And we know that that won't be dry yet from bitter experience. Right, so I want some text. Text. There is some that comes with this. And this is a sort of French address. Then there's that, which has got a number on it. And then there's this, which is an address. All of which might be just a little too large. I'm going to keep that mask with that in case I need it again. So I've got these. Let's see if there's anything here that floats my boat. Not really, they're all quite big. What's in my frequently used ones? I've got this field label, and you know, I think that might look quite nice there. So let's get the mask out again. I'm not going to stamp this with black. I'm going to stamp it with that very light sand dune, this one. I think that's going to need a bit of help as well. Right, so let's ink this up. This is me flying by the seat of my pants. I've no idea if it's going to work or not. But I do want that to come over there a bit. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice, and it looks like it's in the background. Yeah, nice. So we need something up here and something along that side. Quite what, I don't know. Let's wipe the ink off now. Let's have a look through our box, see what we've got that we can use. If I've got something that says figure 1, oh, I have. I've got figure 1, 2 and 3. A little bit big. I've got some desk dwellers here that are rub-ons. I'm sure, yeah, there's figures there in those. Will they fit? Look like they might be a little bit large. No, I think that I'm going to cut that figure 3 out. I think it will fit. Don't know why these are dwelling on my desk. I have no idea, because the others are in a drawer, but these haven't made it that far. Oh, my fingers are all inky. Come on. I can't pick the remnant rub off the backing, that's it. There we go. Oh, it's alive, this one. It's spirited. So I want... Oh, come on. That's going to go there. Finally, at long last, that is going to go there. So let's rub that in. Yeah, like that. What else have I got? Chronicles. I think that one's all right. It's got something stuck on it. Exhibit A. I quite like the numbers. It's got field notes down here. Let's take the field notes. So I can have field notes up there. And a number. Let's have this number 903. I'm so glad to be using these, because I'm sick of moving them around my desk. So yeah, that can go there, and I think that'll look quite nice. Let's give it a try and see what we think. Kind of want that straight. For an awful moment there, I thought it was on pause. I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to do it all again. But no, we're all right. Let's have a look. Oh, this is looking nice. I'm quite pleased with it. I might have to do something like this in on one of my journal pages. That's straight, I think so. I think something like this would look quite nice, don't you? In the journal. Certainly could do it on the little the little botanical accordion book we've got going. So what else do I need on there? I don't think I need a lot else on there really. Kind of like that. Kind of like it. Okay, let's call that, should we call that done? Pretty much done. See what else I've got if I need anything else. I don't think I do, but you know. I haven't got room really for anything. I've got that little one, you know. Yeah, let's put that one in. I don't know what it means, but it's little. And it'll fit in there. I hope he doesn't stop doing the remnant rugs, because I can't be the only one in the world that absolutely loves them. I love the field notes and I love the eccentric ones as well. Just bring that up to there a bit. I think there's some white ones somewhere, isn't there? Didn't he do some black and some white? Pretty sure I've got them, but I don't know that I've ever used them. There we go. Yeah, that fills that up a little bit better, doesn't it? And then we've got that field notes down there. The circles are all empty, that's fine. I don't think we need anything else. I think it's a shame I smudged it, but you know, I did, so I have to live with that. And remind myself daily that that ink takes a long time to dry. Right, so what I'm going to do now is back it with a similar paper to that I've used for this. Have I got any lying around? No, needs a new sheet. Yeah, there's my Sizzix sticky grid sheets that I need to put on my stamping press. But I don't want to do it in a hurry when I'm in a hurry when I'm videoing. I want to make sure I get it right. There we are, let's stick that. Do you know, I'm really pleased with that. I think it's just right. I hope you like it. Oh my goodness. I'm thinking today, particularly, I've got a lot of ladies on my thinking of everyday list, increasingly more as time goes on. But today I'm especially thinking of Sinead, who is going for a knee replacement surgery tomorrow. And apparently, and I didn't know this was what they did, but this is apparently what she's told me, they don't put you to sleep. They give you a spinal block. And so you're awake throughout the whole thing. That I do not like the sound of. I'm not afraid of surgery. I've had lots of surgeries, actually, far too many. But I've never been awake during a surgery, ever. and I really don't fancy it for her. So yeah, let's all send Sinead positive thoughts tomorrow while she's undergoing her surgery and recovering from that. Still wet ink around somewhere. Yeah, be careful of that. That VersaFine Clair takes some time to dry on top of that acrylic ink background. But you know, you live and you learn. I don't have that problem with my journal pages because I make them well ahead. But see the mess on here from it? It's really not dry. I'm just going to dry it for a minute. Right, I think that, well, it can only be a bit better. This, I'm going to have to put something over it. I can't bear the look of it. So let's get back to to these again and see what we've got. I've got numbers here, and that would probably do nicely actually. None of these I don't think are particularly going to fit. Would that exhibit A fit? No, not really. Specimen would though. Specimen it is. And that's going to cut these in half, which makes them even more vulnerable. But yeah, let's put that there. I just can't live with that. It's just too bad. This isn't going to hide it, but it might give your eyes something else to look at instead of just the smudge. Don't know if the S is down. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, all right. I mean, it's not great, of course. It never will be great because I smudged it. But I'm living with it. I'm just living with it. Right, so I've got my back on. Oh, look at the state of it. Anyway, it's on. I didn't clean my board, obviously, enough. Let's round the corners, shall we, I think, and give it a bit of ink. A little bit, not much. I'm going to use the larger corner rounder, I mean. Collect my little corners up because boy oh boy, they get everywhere. So what shall we use? I've got gathered twigs, and I kind of like gathered twigs. And have I got? Yeah, I have one of these. So let's just go around it, just to say a whisper of it. That's what. See what we think. I haven't been inking my pages in my journal, and I quite like that look, the kind of clean look. I'm quite liking this on here. Could it stand a little more? Of course it could. See, you let me loose with the ink and I don't know when to stop. So I'm sorry that today's been a little bit of a failure, really, with the smudginess. But I hope that you can see that the coloured pencils are just the job for this sort of thing. I mean, look at it. How vintage does that look? So I've used coloured pencils and I've used circles. It's up to you which one you choose. I would give the coloured pencils a go because they're fun, largely. And because we all have them, even if we have to nick them off, as I say, the grandkids or whatever, you know, that's fine. Nick them off the grandkids. Let me just wipe my bench down and then I can put that on something clean. And then Mr. F can take a photograph of it for YouTube. Oh, this is really manky. Doesn't matter how many times I clean this. That was why I used the coloured paper, the craft paper and that. Actually, I think I'll have to go back to that because, you know, I'm just a dirty girl. Yeah, that's cleaner. So there you go. You can probably see it better now against the white. I do like it, apart from, obviously, the, as Margaret would say, the boo-boos. But boo-boos are boo-boos. We all make them. Let's cut that off. It's getting on my wake. Save that. I'll do for a label at some stage. There we go. I hope you like it, or at least like the concept. I love the vintageness of it all. I'm hoping that, you know, channeling my Tim Holtz, I'm hoping that it was that he sort of had in mind when he did these stamp sets. Beautiful, beautiful stamp sets. Love it. What did I call it? French Garden? It's called French Garden? French Garden, CMS 487. But of course, a lot of us are on a no-buy thing at the moment. So if you are, well, you can't buy them. Sorry. So there we go. That's me done for today. I'll be back really soon with the journal, the ongoing journal that I'm doing. But now at least you know how to do the background, because I know some of you really had missed that and you felt you couldn't proceed with the journal because you didn't have the knowledge, the know-how. I hadn't told you how to do that. So thanks for watching, everybody. Sinead, I'm really thinking about you, my girl. You'll be fine. I know you'll be fine. It's just me. I'm just being squeamish. She says she's got her iPods for her ears. She's got a blindfold for her eyes. So hopefully she's not going to know what's going on. I really hope that's the case. So I can't wait to hear from her the other side of surgery. And to everybody else, well, the people that I'm thinking of, you know I'm thinking of you. I tend not to message people very often because sometimes they don't want to be reminded of what, you know, oh, how are you? They might be having a good day. So just know that I'm thinking of you. And to everybody else, thank you so much for joining me. Despite everything, I've quite enjoyed this and I actually really do like the finished look. So take care, everybody. Remember to be kind and I'll see you real soon. Bye.